Hi and welcome. This is my May review for Leos, and we start the month with a fantastic aspect. Venus makes a conjunction with Jupiter, and this is a fantastically fortunate aspect, and this is in your 8th house. The 8th house is the house where money comes in from outside sources, so maybe a good time to buy a lotto ticket. Now, the other thing with this aspect is it does bring a lot of benefits, other benefits. There's benefits in relating to people and getting people on board, groups of people and individuals, and it's also great for business and financial planning. Now, the other thing that's happened happening on the 1st is that Pluto is retrograde. Now, Pluto retrograde is in your 6th house. Now, the 6th house is about your daily routines, your work, and also your health, diet, fitness. And with Pluto going retrograde, you can still work with this planet. You don't have to just ignore it because it's retrograde. In fact, it's a better time to be able to work with it because the energy turns inward and you can deal with it then. Now, with Pluto in this area, you've got to ask yourself, what am I trying to control in my life that is uncontrollable? Because you're wasting your time. You can't control things that are just not going to happen, so you're best to leave those and control the things that you can affect, like your diet, your fitness, your health, and your work routines. You can influence these, you can to some extent control these, but with the 6th house being the house of Virgo, it's just time to analyse these things and perhaps look about how you can make changes, because in October, when Pluto moves direct, that's the time you've got to take action. So you've got 5 months to work behind the scenes now, plan things out so that in October you're ready to act. On the 4th, the Sun comes together with Uranus, and whenever this happens there's always going to be a spark or two flying around. This is in your 10th house of career and chosen path, so it might be a day to inject some excitement into your routines at work or whatever you do, and just maybe it's a day when new ideas maybe come through. Maybe interacting with different people who you wouldn't normally interact with might help. But also the Sun makes an aspect to Mars. Mars is in the 8th house. This is the house he rules, so he's very happy here, and he's willing to aid the Sun, to give him energy and to help the Sun to have the confidence to make any changes needed. On the 5th, Venus, who's speeding through the zodiac, full pelt, makes a positive aspect to Mercury, who is in fact slowing down. So Venus has the edge on this one. She wants some fun. She wants to enjoy herself. And with Mercury in that 11th house, it's a good time to go out and have some fun with friends, enjoy their company before Mercury goes retrograde on the 10th. Because with Mercury retrograde for 3 weeks, there is time to work with the energies, as with Pluto. And in the 11th house is to do with friends. It's to do with your selection of friends. How do you select them? And review the process to see if you can improve on it. Because maybe sometimes you make mistakes and make a bad judgment call. Now, the other thing to do is to review your aims and goals. Maybe some of them are a little bit pie in the sky or a little bit unrealistic. So it's a good time to review these aims and goals, and also be wary of how you communicate and how you speak to people, especially in group situations or with colleagues. Be very careful of what you say to one person, because it can easily be repeated around before you even realise that you've said it. Look out for a twist of fate or a shift of power on the 12th, because the Sun makes a conjunction with the Moon's North Node. Now, this is our spiritual way forward. This is our destiny. And with this happening in your 10th house, this could be a change of direction in your career. It could be a new challenge or quest on your destined path, or it could be something that happens to change your public standing. Any of these could happen. This is a fantastic opportunity to advance on the evolutionary scale of things. And then 2 days later, Mars joins in and makes a positive aspect to the North Node as well. So this will give you the impetus and the get up and go to put whatever it is that comes up into action. So be very thoughtful, keep your eyes and ears open, because there may be signs or messages coming through. The North Node is always there to help you and guide you and teach you, lead you on the path that you should be following. Maybe a little blip to overcome on the 15th as the Sun makes a square to Saturn. Saturn's in that 7th house, so there could be someone else who questions you or challenges you about what you're doing and whether you're being responsible enough. But it's up to you to be compassionate, because we also have Neptune involved here, compassionate towards them and explain things. We also have another aspect on that day when Venus makes a conjunction with Chiron. Now Chiron's in that 9th house. This is a time when you need to learn from your mistakes. Look back at the past, see where you may have gone wrong, and this time when you make changes you can do it in the correct manner without having learned from those mistakes of the past. On the 16th we have our full moon. This is also a total eclipse, lunar eclipse, so this is a very important time, and this is happening in your 4th house and in Scorpio, so there's emotional intensity in this. And this eclipse belongs to the Saras 6 North series, which was the same as the one last month. So with this series, as we spoke about before, it brings up issues regarding authority figures, and for you with this being in the 4th house, it will bring up relationship with parents, and there may need to be some communication there, and also it could be that you need to take control or take charge of something around the home area, because the 4th house is also about the home. Now the full moon in Scorpio is about letting go of things, so it's time maybe to let go of some of the past, so that you can move on with less baggage, because there's a lot of emphasis on career and your way forward at the moment, so maybe it's good to clear things out from the past so that you can move forward at a much faster rate. Nothing will hold you back then. On the 17th we have a rather unusual aspect, because we have Mars, the ego planet, coming in conjunct with Neptune, the ego-less planet. So this is a situation where Neptune will dissolve the ego, so you'll be egoless for a whole day. You might find that your drives and urges disappear for a day, and it's like you're being held in suspension. But this could give you added insight and use your intuition to look into things and see what you can discover on a day like this. Then on the 18th there's another day for the unconscious. This time Sun makes an aspect to Pluto, who's as we know is retrograde. So this is a time when you look at control and power issues within the workplace, and also amongst your colleagues, and see exactly where things are happening. This will give you valuable insight as well. On the 19th is a good day to look at your power and your source and see where you actually use your energy. Are you wasting energy? Can it be conserved and be better used in other directions? Mercury is making this aspect to Jupiter, and this is now in the 9th house. Jupiter moved there and is now in Aries, so full of power and willing to move forward on things. It's a good time to look at, see what you can learn going forward, and maybe plan an adventure. Then on the 21st the Sun moves into Gemini, and this is your 11th house, and now it's time to take stock. Look and evaluate your aims and goals and see where you can make changes, see which ones are outmoded, and then set some new ones that are more realistic and more achievable. Two positive aspects on the 22nd. We have the Sun making a positive aspect to Jupiter. Jupiter will help the Sun look at those aims and goals you have, and take stock and realise that yes, there is better things that you can put your attention to. And Mars will help as well, because Mars is making a positive aspect to Pluto, so Mars will add energy. Mars is saying, right, you've analysed things, you've looked at things, you've made your mind up, now let's get things into action. We have an interesting conjunction on the 23rd when Ceres, the asteroid, makes a conjunction with the black moon Lilith. Now these two are both primal archetypes and are two sides of the same coin. We have Ceres, who is the eternal mother and represents a nurturing side, and then we have the black moon Lilith, who is the original sinner and the promiscuous side of us all. Now with these two together, it could be an opportunity to blend the two and bring sexuality and nurturing together within your relationship. But on the other hand, this is deeply buried in the unconscious, so you may have feelings of anger or rage that come up that touches on things that happened in the past, a wound or a hurt, and this may resurface. So it's a good time to look at this, analyse it, and put it to rest. Venus is active between the 24th and 26th. She makes two aspects. Now the first one is a positive aspect to Saturn, so it's a good time to sit down if you're in a relationship and discuss the duties and responsibilities and obligations you have, and who does what, so to speak. But it's not just in relationships. You can do this within your work or friends or groups or any part of your life. Now the other aspect is on the square between Venus and Pluto. This brings up very strong, intense emotions. Any contact between Venus and Pluto can stir these up. And again, this is a time when you can actually start to make some changes within your routines, or maybe at your workplace or in your relationship, whereby you can put these discoveries into practice. Between the 28th and the 30th, Mars is now active. He makes a conjunction with Jupiter in Aries. Now Mars is the ruler of Aries. Jupiter is very well placed at the first few degrees of Aries. So this is going to be a fantastic time to tune in, use your physical energy. This is good for just about any pursuit that uses physical energy. So if you can't use it, make sure you exercise and get rid of it in some way, because it will be very powerful. Now this aspect is good because we have a follow-up on the 30th when Mars makes an aspect with the Black Moon Lilith. So Mars and Lilith will help you to push the boundaries. There's a desire for success and a desire for freedom. And with this all happening in the 9th house, there's a great emphasis on learning something new, putting energy into learning something, but also to maybe start that adventure that you've been thinking about, been planning. Maybe it's time to put the wheels into motion now, put some of your energy into that. We finished the month with a new moon on the 30th. This new moon is in Gemini and it's in your 11th house. So this is all about the mind. This is all about getting new ideas, about networking, interacting with people, because ideas will be what fuels you in the future. Action follows thought, so you need to bring the thoughts through now. You need to process all these thoughts. You need to get amongst groups of people. You need to take on as much information as you can, because whatever you take on now will become your future. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the May review. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to leave me a comment, I'll be glad to hear from you.